a lot of these series between Gen.G and KT have been decided in lane, right? So draft for some early prio. You do have a really strong dive. It's for many years now as the best mid laner in the world. And now they're looking mid.
Looking to gank that best mid laner in the world. Chovy flashes immediately into the flag and drag. Knocked back with a seismic shove. But his rocks become his...
What is your role within this team, right? Yep. You know, when you take players who are like the focus on a different roster and you put them all together and you build with more and more and more stars, not everyone
can be... Cuz is doing anything a little bit illegal, but for the moment, Cuz should be able to get one of these grubs. KT pushed in the top side. Ruler's going to answer that. Canyon looking for the flank from the bottom side. Volt breaker onto BDD, lands the knock-up. Fate sealed out from BDD across the wall, using that ultimate just for a little bit of extra distance between him and Gen.G. Chovy coming in. BDD will dash out of the back of the pit, and KT will escape with only one of the grubs. Great smite from Canyon to secure the one that was contested, and Gen.G will get their second. And Valkyrie in if a fight starts sharpish. Meanwhile, the unstoppable onslaught coming out from Keen as he charges down here. The Drake falling lower, though, down to 2k. BDD jumping in just to distract. A quickness from Juro, a smite from Cuz. KT secure the Drake, and a great disengage as well, as Gen.G are the ones retreating, unable to find purchase in the fight.
They have found many advantages. There's been that snap engage. Duro in particular has been exceptional at this as they're...
And there it goes, straight onto Dogdam. Cease and desist living as the Caitlyn falls to Canyon. Gen.G on the board in the semi. Can do here, but it doesn't really feel like KT want to contest right now. The cease and desist from Gen.G. They want the fight on their terms, and they kill off the Nico immediately. Nothing that KT can do to collapse. Is for KT, do you hit?
Oh, Peter lost flash.
Do you go for the fight? Peter, no flash, as you say. That Nico, half of a champ if he can't get onto the back line, still looking for the engage. Meanwhile, the cease and desist into the quickness combo. A double charm comes out from Duro, and Gen.G just rip the hearts out of KT.
And that play from Duro, the man that at the beginning of the year was the weak spot for Gen.G, sets up on both sides of the fight. First gets the charm, allows them to engage on the jungler, then flashes
their
his
class around the objectives, and just like that, not only is the advantage gone,
we'll just get blown
gonna
up.
get spotted potentially here. He's still in that brush.
They don't know.
Walks into the bush. There's Juro, gets the quickness off. Weaver's wall out, and the charm follows up. KT, though, still alive. Peter yet to fall. Cuz going in with the flag and drag. Fate sealed. Flash away from Canyon. He dashes out with a Volt breaker. Gen.G now on the back foot. The ace in the hole cancelled by the knock-up. A seismic shove onto Cuz. Keen the first to fall. Gen.G on the back foot. KT still looking to find purchase in the fight.
It's still a big win for KT, though. We'll see if they can turn it into... As in the picture, Otacon's going.
Otacon's already started by KT as Gen.G look to take the fight. Canyon
Peter.
Not here yet. Peter! Pop Blossom goes wide. And perhaps Gen.G can look to turn this one around now as KT don't have that big engage tool. Gen.G take their turn on the Otacon. Seismic shove just short of clipping onto perfect. Gen.G still on that Otacon. Down to 3,000 HP. Cuz looking for the engagement. He's locked up. Decimating Smash doesn't catch him. In the flag and the dragon. Still forced away. Gen.G will claim the Otacon.
Peter was literally seconds away from his flash, but because he doesn't have his available, Chobi's able to flash out, and KT unable to take the Otacon and gonna lose the turret as well.
Yeah, and as soon as that ulti does not hit there from Peter, it's so tough now for KT to re-enter.
Stop was used in that topside play as well.
They go for Canyon, jump on him immediately with the Volt breaker to get himself out. The tower falls in mid. KT not really defending that mid tower for now, as KT still look to start up this Drake. Will be soul point for them. Chovy on the flank as he wraps around to join his team behind this Drake. Perfect with that equalizer. Weaver's wall. Perfect's on the wrong side of it, but can walk out towards the top side of his jungle. Drake down to 2,000 HP. Peter with the Pop Blossom! And a fight flowers for KT. BDD dives in. Gen.G are left routed as Ruler has nowhere to go. Flashes, but with an ace in the hole. One more bullet in Dogdam's shot. A cataclysm. The tomb for Ruler as KT clean up the fight.
Peter finds the engage to flip the game on its head. BDD and Perfect have the follow-up immediately. Beautiful equalizer, beautiful Yone ult coming across, gets them soul point, is gonna get them multiple towers here. KT with a picture-perfect team fight.
And there is the dive that was able to get KT the win. When they found that best of 5, the final game, it was Cuz and BDD.
If they find that good engage, they have the power behind him to knock him down.
GenG know the BDD isn't here right now as Ruler. Valkyrie's in. Dr. has to flash across the wall, equalizer down as well. The Weaver's Wall from Chovy puts him on the backline. A seismic shove. Gonna cut down perfect. Cataclysm in as KT look for the fight, but they just lock GenG in. And they don't have the damage. Keen on that front line. Mortal Blade coming out from BDD for the knockup. Chovy flashing forward. Chucking the rocks into Doctam, but he can't quite get the damage. BDD finds one. Doctam walks away wounded. Cuz dives into the middle, but they don't have it. KT routed by GenG. BDD locked up with the slow from a decimating smash, and that axe will make him go timber. Keen picks up the final.
It's Drake, so the timing a little tense, but we'll see if they can get and stay there.
I totally agree with you. I think KT forcing this. Sometimes you need a moment just to let everything reset. They're still on soul point. GenG, it's only their second Drake.
Zonia's double IE has been completed, so a lot of power still there for KT. But GenG is just so crisp with these engages. And now that they have the run of the map, it's very difficult to surprise them. Look at the...
GenG want to get a little bit more damage down, but I think they also know that this turret will hold on. The Chovy says no, and I grab that one as well.
Nice use of the Weaver's Wall there from Chovy.
I just love how much protection there is for Ruler. You know, you see the nothing out on the map.
They just don't have an easy way to get it down as well. They don't have a tank to face check for the support to run behind, and they also don't have something like a Rakan decimating smash onto Cuz, caught out with that lack of vision. Keen with the Roar of the Slayer finds his mark. BDD forced away towards the top side. Peter having to flash Doctam underneath the tower. Pop Blossom from Peter will distract the rest of GenG. Canyon's going to go into the Guardian Angel, but the Angel's on his shoulder. Might be enough. Fate sealed from BDD onto the backline. They'll look for Ruler. Keen flashes. Get down, Mr. Ruler, as he blocks the shot from the ace in the hole. Decimating smash again. Perfect looking for more. BDD going in with a Mortal Strike 3. Tries to get onto Ruler. The damage doesn't tick. Ruler still stands. And Keen will run for him. BDD finds another Ruler down. Just the mid lane is left alive. BDD versus Chovy. We've seen it so many times over the years.
But Cuz is coming up fast.
They're gonna get it. Duro doesn't have the smite from Summoner's Spellbook. It's gonna be sold for KT. From 5k behind, they find.
And they're just slowly sieging this. KT, one of the few downsides of that Yone is that ranged wave clear is tough. Same for the Rumble, so holding this off is tough.
Unstoppable onslaught in from King just to break that trap line, just to break this tower. Weaver's Wall out. Perfect's going to be on the GenG side of it, but he's down towards the bottom of it and will be able to escape their clutches. The inhibitor tower does fall. Top lane in here below as well. 50 seconds left on this Baron. A couple of waves for GenG to play with.
Yeah, but it's KT holding on well. No inhibitors have fallen yet. They did lose the one tower, but only 40 seconds left on this barrier.
He goes in, and he tries to seal the fates of Chovy, but he pops a stopwatch immediately. The Zapzap gets him. Cataclysm onto the backline. GenG have already lost their mid laner. A GA coming out for KT as they manage to back away. GenG lose too. BDD wants to make it more, can't find it, but KT hold on.
The engage from BDD is such a thing of beauty.
For Chovy, KT put up a snap trap line to try and stop them. Peter has that Pop Blossom. They'll look for the Fate Sealed. The Elder already down to 7,000. Shape Splitter out. Seismic Shot. Peter gets the Pop Blossom only onto Duro, but the Elder is secured, and now KT will look to turn the fight. GenG immediately run for the hills. Keen flashes across the Fate Sealed from BDD. Trying to take out Chovy. Duro falls on the back line as KT continue to collapse. Cuz dodges the Seismic Shot, but Chovy survives. The Elder doesn't quite take him down.
Be taken down if you're GenG than Duro, but they are going to keep pushing. The backs are going to have to come through, and mid lane is going to fall, but the wave clear for GenG might be enough.
Okay, if we watch that, if we get this replay, you have to keep your eyes on the Seraph's cooldown.
They're still looking at Elder for the next minute, but it's going to expire. We talked earlier about the side lane waves, the side lane towers still being up. KT have to do a slow march through this top side.
There's a 15-second period here where GenG do not get to contest, and I imagine KT is going to full send it towards the Baron. Now it's KT that are the ones back in control of this game. There is still a good amount of vision though.
Looking as well up towards where the Krugs are.
15 seconds.
GenG want to look for it. 15 on the Elder. Baron now on the map again. GenG trying to step up, trying to face up against KT. The snap trap down. No autos onto Keen. Perfect looking for a flank with that Pop Blossom. The Baron down, taken by KT. Will they still look for the fight, or will they?
Elder, or will they play aggressively to try to close this game?
We're seeing there the possible TP ward put down by Duro. Note they can't hold on to the turret, but they can at least do that. Gold's going to be in favor of KT, but as we're saying, we're at full builds for most people here. The Mountain Soul is firmly in favor of KT, but the Petals 37-4 here for GenG. Although the relative value of that experience not really gonna match up at this point. And Dokdam and BDD, the amount of damage these two players are dealing in these late game fights, full build on these crit carries is disgusting.
90 seconds on this Baron buff. 130 before the Elder. KT marching down bot. Gen.G trying to defend. Bolt breaker from Canyon is met by a soul and bound from BDD. He snaps back to his team, but not yet to reality as KT are looking to take the first game of their first semi-final over the MSI champions. KT pushing in. Gen.G struggling to find a defense right now.
And this all coming down to this. KT on the verge of taking the first game, but Gen.G are not going to fall over without a fight.
Keen still that meatball on the front line, but has to pop the ultimate to try and escape. Knocked up, forced away. The Nexus Towers, KT's target is Dokdam. Headshots one. The next one for Gen.G, their last bastion of defense. The cannon minion still there, seismically shoved underneath the turret. The Baron expires in 40 seconds, and again KT just playing it slow, taking it patient, snapping back again. The Nexus Tower almost down. Canyon dives in, but Peter distracts the rest of Gen.G. Canyon size the GA, but the rest of Gen.G can't get to him. They've been equalized. The Guardian Angel down on Canyon, meanwhile BDD distracting. Generation Gaming. The Cataclysm in from Cuz will build the walls of Gen.G's tomb. Gen.G taken down by the might that is the KT Coaster.
And
Situation. Could go for something like the Zaya if you want to be able to avoid that public execution, but Varus does give you good poke. It allows the engage from the Kiana to be a little bit stronger. You've also got the Chain of Corruption for that extra CC.
For him. Could be looking towards BDD though.
Gonna run towards that middle lane. BDD needs to get the hell out of here. Chovy's on the chase. BDD flashes and face plants in the wall. Gen.G claim first blood.
And it's kind of a flip situation. This time it's KT trying to get access to that dragon.
Duro on that front line, the hook lands onto Peter. Kaz gets the root down, piercing arrow. Again onto Duro as he falls low, he has to flash away. The knockback onto Chovy separates the fight. Drake secured by Gen.G, double flash of the root still onto Ruler. Dokdam looking to put the arrows into the back of his enemy man. The Realm War back as Peter's getting onto that backline, but Gen.G immediately turn and burn. But Canyon is the one who is aflame. Hero's entrance will not be a good exit for Chovy as now he needs to escape the clutches of KT. They've already lost two. Gen.G trying to get Ruler out of here as the chase down towards the bottom side. Chovy against Cuz has to burn the flash, but finds him still. KT come out on the other side. How hype are KT feeling, right? Coming into this, as we see Peter look for the engage onto Duro, we'll get the trample down. The hook's gonna land as Cuz dives in. Supreme display of talent. The Nautilus falls first, but meanwhile the Crescent Guard from Cannon keeps him alive. Peter gets the knock up and a knockback. Ruler gets the shutdown though as two will fall. Gen.G bite back in the game.
yeah, that was not the fight to go there for KT. They try to full send it, but they're sending it onto Duro with Ruler just free firing on you. And Ruler gets both of those kills and a big shutdown off of Cuz. Plus, they're going to be able to get the grubs off the back of this as well. Ruler in prime position to be able to carry now. 1K up this early.
And it shows how quickly these games can swing. Like, we were literally in the middle of talking about how KT had a really good early game, and now the gold basically even, 2 neutral objectives to 0 in favor of
out. The base just now coming in from Perfect, so there's no way you can contest. Gen.G gonna be able to grab this one, no problem. And they are the ones now with 2 early dragons here. It's going to be an Ocean Soul.
Backs away from the Herald, which will reset its patience in a moment. Chovy TPing in. The hook's going to land, though, as they look for Peter. Flashes in, headbutt pulverize, Supreme display of talent as well, but only onto Chovy. The redemption comes out as Ruler. Arcane shifts forward. He wants part of this fight. Canyon with the Crescent Guard. Chain of Corruption will lock him up, and it mistimes as they go in. Ruler able to pick up one. Another hook coming out from Duro. The depth charge on the back line into the taunt from Chovy. Gen.G rule the rift as KT can find nothing.
Gen.G showcasing their incredible team fighting here. That was just immaculate. Early force on the ult from Peter. They back off. They avoid Cuz on the re-engage. And then Ruler finds space on the side of the fight to go aggressive. Duro finds another hook. And Gen.G were just dancing around that fight perfectly.
And what goes up must come down as
Already on his going towards his third item as Dokdam only sits on one. Perfect looking for the flank. The Drake begun hex flash forward. Canyon dives onto Peter. Rifthold has been summoned towards the topsiders. They go in for the fight, and we see KT able to secure the Drake, but Peter now needs to retreat. Perfect up towards the top side, trying to distract Canyon. Peter falling lower. Down comes the anchor and sends him into the depths. GenG find another. For KT, they got the Drake, and that's really all they wanted. Riptail charges in. Perfect matches it. Should be able to kill it off. Duro with a good hook away, but BDD still on the chase. Depth charge! Arcane shift! Mystic shot from Ruler, but into the Supreme Display of Talent as KT turn it around. Canyon forced away as they chase forward onto him. Perfect finds another. KT turn around. Vision around it. Perfect looking for that flank. No wards where he is. Duro going in with the hook. Drake down to 6,000. Perfect still peeking his head out as they dive in. Canyon looking for the steal here, but it's Cuz that gets it. BDD forced to flash away. Here is Angels and Chovy in the pit. Keen diving forward. Ruler caught out by Perfect. Canyon falling lower as Cuz finds two. KT winning the fight on the bottom side, but the top side is all in favor of Keen. Ruler almost going down. Chovy still on the chase. Dogdown trying to get away. Perfect and Peter trying to protect him. The flash away from Dogdown. The taunt short from Chovy. Chovy falls. Only the top laners left alive, and Perfect.
Rush. It looks like a difficult approach, and KT, they're going back for the red buff to try to buy time, but that's been spotted. They're too late now, it feels like.
Cuz might look for the steal. Baron coming onto the rift, but GenG already secured the Articon. KT backing away.
By Doctom just playing around vision around that corner. Gets Ruler so incredibly low, they're threatening.
GenG have to back away. The risk of getting knocked up there. They've got a single control ward, now a couple in that mid lane bush. Peter caught out with a hook once again as he has to flash away. Has the honey fruit to pop himself up as Ruler lands the damage across the wall. He couldn't see him. It was blind, and Ruler finds his man. KT now a man down, can't defend. The Drake secured, so point for GenG.
Yeah, the problem is they're just going to go to Baron, I think, here, and they're just going to force your hand. Peter getting caught back-to-back fights. This time he doesn't have the ulti. And BDD and Perfect were pretty late to the fight, so GenG just walked through mid. They get the Dragon, they go to Soul Point, they take tier 1, and now they're going to put pressure here onto the Baron. And Peter's not up for 10.
Cuz is going to look for the steal. Ruler wisely standing on this side of the wall, now dashes in with that arcane shift. Perfect clears out a bit of vision. Cuz hasn't been seen here. GenG, the Baron down to 6.5k. Canyon and Ruler still on it. Cuz still looking for the steal. Perfect and BDD down towards the bottom side, distracting the rest of GenG. Cuz can jump in. The Winds of War from Chovy. Duo knocked up. Redemption out. Canyon almost falling as Cuz dives into the pit. There's no jungler there. Canyon goes in, and he manages to land the smite. KT now on the back foot. Public execution from Keen, not quite connecting, and KT turn and burn. Peter's here for a little bit more. The hero's entrance won't be quick enough to save his support. Perfect diving onto that backline. Chovy falling lower. Keen forced away towards the top side. Chovy with a stopwatch. Dogdown can't land. The piercing arrow through that. Flash away. The Realm Warp gets KT out, but GenG secure.
Being on the roller coaster, it never gets old. Ruler doing an incredible amount of damage in that fight, and now GenG, we've seen him in his position. Last time it was Canyon going in too deep. They get a redo this time around.
BDD's pushing in a side lane. KT have already given up the ghost on this inhibitor and, well, at least the tower. GenG can push for more. Chovy's pushing in mid for that tier 2. The inhibitor will go down on the bottom side as KT look to defend their mid tower. BDD does have the TP. Chovy's a little bit isolated here. Ruler arcane shifts across to make sure.
Is that upcoming possibility for a Soul mid lane turret also will fall as the rest of KT.
They haven't been able to get out on the map and reclaim vision. And Peter has been getting picked a number of times, and it could be a repeat.
Flash hook, immediately they look for Cuz, they'll take out the jungler. Ruler finds the kill, and now Peter tries to flash away, tries to get to safety. KT will shepherd him back into the base, but GenG don't even need to turn towards that Drake yet. They can push for the tier 2 on the top side, they can push for the inhib tower on mid.
And GenG not wanting to repeat
like you're saying, you know, but then it was Canyon going too far. It was the fight getting turned around. This time, they basically get a read. Difficult for KT.
And that's kind of a flex from Doctom, right? Like being up.
Peter's going. Immediately they dive into Chovy. They have the Chain of Corruption coming out as well. It's going to land the Taunt, the Crescent Guard out as well from Canyon. Chovy falling lower. Perfect's on the flank, lands a double knockup. Chovy needs to get out, and he will. A public execution slays the cow. Roast beef for Keen as he finds two. Dogdam will follow. Canyon dives back in, flashes away, still has the Angel to bring him back to life. And now Keen can advance, and Cuz can do nothing but flash and a try to get himself out. Keen will chase for days though. Cuz forced down towards this blue side jungle. KT lose the fight. GenG, do you stick or do you twist? It looks like Baron is their target.
Yeah, Cuz still going to stay around, but it's going to be incredibly difficult for him to get in the area. He's hoping he can find a miracle to get in that pit. I mean, he has the sweeper. He knows he's not spotted, but he is now.
Ruler jumps immediately onto him. He knows his job here. They don't need the damage on the Baron, just force Cuz away. Can't quite hit the Mystic shot. Perfect here. The TP in from BDD. Another TP to follow it. As KT think perhaps we can take the fight after the big purple worm. Peter's here to join the fray, but Baron already for GenG. KT now back away. The Realm Warp used. True shot barrage on Cuz. Almost takes him out. And now GenG with the Baron can push in another
Felt
team.
like at that point, position that generally GenG wouldn't lose from as they are unrelenting, pushing on.
Ooh, Chain of Corruption comes out. Ruler with the Mercurial is going to cleanse away that slow. It was here that BDD managed to do it, but he doesn't have the same impetus to engage, doesn't have the same tools in his arsenal to get there. Inhib on the top side, taken by GenG. Now KT will put all 5 players to defending this mid lane wave that Chovy is going to begin to bring in. GenG, though, can still use the top side. Knock up onto Keen. He dashes away. The route onto Juro with the Rune Prison. Perfect, falling lower. Forced away by Ruler. Will be able to heal up in that passive. True shot rush dodged by Cuz, but not by Peter. A public execution onto the backline. The knockback onto Keen immediately. The redemption coming out as well. Crescent Guard BDD trying to get onto Juro. Will find it. The taunt onto Cuz. Keen dashing in. Knocked back under the tower, but Ruler untouched. Canyon untouched. Chovy untouched. And GenG marching down mid for the win.
And you know Ruler is calling for that Pentine comes right now. Already picked up his double. KT though, they're gonna try and hold on. TP's gonna come in. Baron buff still for another 10 seconds.
Reset coming out from Chovy. He's finished a neat death cap. The Rabadons for that extra bit of damage. The Nexus Tower is falling. Ruler and Chovy take the first. Keen trying to get this wave in for the second. Perfect. Dogdam and Peter needs to try and defend, but Peter's already back in the base, just healing up on that fountain. The Nexus Tower falling lower. Ruler with a true shot barrage can still arc and shift away from the oncoming Rek'Sai. The Nexus Tower will be taken. Keen behind them. KT trying to defend, but they just don't have the wallets. GenG will answer the fight and go 1-1 in the series.
GenG battling. Just tank that arrow, right? Like anyone who gets hit, it could be pretty dangerous for them. So Leona does make a lot of sense, does help them as far as the primary engage. If you bring Pantheon down towards that bot side, you can look to try to prey on the Ashe as well as the Lulu, who can be quite vulnerable. The thing that Canyon could potentially be doing is looking towards that top lane if he overextended.
Early objective stacking has been 100% predictor of who will win the game. So volley from Dogdam, Grub's begun. KT with 5 Chovies on his way across. Juro stepping forward, flash shield of David finds the stun. Grand Starfall coming out as well. Keeper's verdict from Cuz. The shockwave, Peter flashes it. Ruler caught out on the backline, pushed away with the Emperor's Divider now. KT can begin to advance. Keen trying to come in and reinforce his team. Duro shielded just in time. Now Perfect stepping forward, has to flash away himself. And in the end, no one does.
Now starting to build towards that Chovy lead we all know and love is...
Empress Divide, he tries to flash away from it, he slammed into the wall! Chovy, take a pew! Your church is closed! KT find the kill on the enemy mid, and will turn their eyes towards the Drake.
And that is twice in 3 games. Uncharacteristic bad flashes from Chovy where he's getting caught, he's getting taken down. Same thing happened in game 1, and now they're going to force the Dragon.
And KT are just going to get it. GenG looking to catch someone as they walk out. Enchanted Crystal Hour coming out once again, looking for Duro. Dogdam on the chase. Peter there with the Glitter slow. Flash away from Duro means he's not slammed against that wall. KT will...
BDD not having his flash.
Oh my god, he got solo killed.
Grand Starfall in from Canyon as he looks for the chase onto BDD, but BDD still has the flash, and he'll jump over the wall! They call him BDD for a reason, as he outplays Canyon and Chovy.
That is massive for the game. 2-0 for BDD. You get out the flash here. And now I think we're just going to see the solo kill one more time. He doesn't even have his ult, so Chovy must have just overcommitted to this, and I'm assuming BDD just slides in. And you're just going to get auto to death. I mean, he procced the phase rush. The phase rush expires. You cannot stand around like that. You need to be able to exit the fight. Over the years, where you thought, surely this is the year that they're going to be able to win, has yet to make it to a final. BDD final again.
Chovy. BDD takes a couple of towers, so it takes 3. BDD just dies. Cuz will get 1 in response, but the shutdown. Now looking for the fight here around the Herald. Counter TP being used as Perfect's going to join the fight. Keen in the back of the pit. Perfect's there, trying to act as that front line. Looking for the eye. The solar flare. Dogdam immediately cleanses away from it. Canyon dives in. A great step up and stops Duro from coming in. The TP first. It's going to be BDG joining the fight. Keen forced up towards the top side. Perfect's going to 1v1 him with the all out. And now the charge forward from KT. They find 3 as Gen.G are left reeling.
GenG are wiped from the map. KT just outplay them. They get the Herald. They're going to keep pushing here as well. Look at Perfect trying to threaten the wraparound if GenG's carries overstay.
And it's an elementary mistake from Gen.G. There was just a teleport disadvantage. Jovi doesn't have to... Gets the charge, and KT builds a gigantic lead in this game number 3.
That is...
Who obviously is in that fight, by the way, which we didn't even really get to talk about. Just straight up 1v1 Keen.
Crystal going down. There's Keeper's Verdict as well. Ruler doesn't get the chance to move. Duro has to flash, takes the Chemtech Blast Cone to get himself to safety, but KT...
starting to feel the possibilities ramping up more and more for KT here. They're fully
making so many mistakes. It's Dogan.
Grand Starfall onto Docdam. Does have the flash. He's going to use it to get across the red pit. Can't do it in time. Solar Flare from Duro finds its mark. Chovy gets the shutdown.
Set up Ruler in a position to carry, right? Gave over the early shutdown. Not this time.
Onto Chovy. Perfect here. Pathmaker will find Chovy, and he doesn't get a chance.
And Gen.G are looking at yet another semi-final of despair.
Battered and bruised. They'll have one more game to try and get themselves back off the mat, but for now, KT take total control of Game 3. Keen will get a tower down towards that bottom side, 22.5 minutes in. BDD will get KT's 3rd of the game. The Petals relatively close, even though
feel like KT is running the rift.
Perfect with the phase check, the slam into the wall. The arrow follows up, and once again it hits Chovy somehow. Gen.G on the retreat, KT will back away, don't have to go any further. They still have the Keeper's Verdict, the Emperor's Divide. They use the Redemption to top up Perfect. They turn their eyes towards the Drake Soul for them. Canyon a long way away, has that Grand Starfall. Keen gonna try and flank across here. Could use the World Ender. Starfall in from Canyon, looks for the steal, but immediately he's yeeted. The Keeper's Verdict finds him guilty, and Emperor's Divide knocks the World Ender into the middle. The Shockwave finds KT, but Duro dives in, and the rest of Gen.G just can't follow him. KT claim the soul, they claim the kills, and they claim Gen.G's lives.
KT is just running through the fight. Chovy's in trouble. BDD's going.
BDD can still chase him in. He's the only one left alive. Chovy stands alone as KT clean up the fight.
And that is a 5-for-1 soul for KT. Gen.G.
Because the timing was perfect. Canyon ults in, immediately knocked out. And then BDD on the side catching Keen, knocking him into the stun of Cuz. They're looking like Shaq and Kobe out there.
He's complete. For Docdam, he has a Peter in his pocket to help buff up those autos. Duro and Canyon and Chovy still looking for the flanks. BDD might face check into it. Enchanted Crystal coming out, but BDD uses the soldiers to check for him. His bodyguards as he forces Chovy away. Canyon falls. Duro likely to follow suit soon. Chovy teleports out and dies anyway.
He gets taken down. It's another kill, and it's going to be the Baron here for KT. BDD will not get caught sleeping. Sniffs out the attempted play from Gen.G, goes straight at him, and comes out on top.
It's a victory lap for the roller coaster. Get in now, you get an extra ride for free.
For KT, the rebellion of the underdog. I think a lot of people looked at this series and said the only way KT even have a chance is for Gen.G to drastically underperform, but today it has been KT stepping up time after time. Gen.G trying to defend the top lane inhib. Docdang steps forward, puts the damage down into it. 2 minutes left on this Baron buff as KT take the inhib tower. In the mid lane, Perfect will shepherd in the next wave. The inhibitor falls for KT, and now they move across towards mid.
KT trying to put the finishing touches here. Gen.G has to decide when will they make their final stand. It's still a minute and a half left on this Baron. It's not as though it's about to expire. They've already lost 2 inhibs here. They don't have that bot wave moving for them, but they just want to play through 2 waves. Have these 2 waves synced up and start to really put pressure on the Nexus towers.
Chovy and Gen.G trying to defend the solar flare. BDD slides away from it. You can't catch me. Starfall in, but Canyon's locked up. The Keeper's Verdict knocks back 1. Cuz goes in for the chase, but can't quite find the damage on the Canyon. But here comes Docdam for the rest of it. Keen with the whole world on his shoulders as he pops the World Ender, but he's stunned up, locked up, and taken out by KT. Another name on the list for KT. They take their destiny into their own hands. hands as they go one game away from...
Goes for the Anivia, which into both the Kalista, the Renata, and the Casio, I think is going to feel great. And Perfect just going to keep doing his job as he has been this series. Going to lock in the tank, try and get as much impact as possible.
Spamming out those spells. Double Ruby Crystal obviously helping him get through more of those. Canyon's coming across though. The KT bot lane is the first to move. Perfect hits level 6, does have the teleport if the Call of the Forge Gods needed. Cuz and KT should be able to secure the first Drake. BDD looks for the Petrifying Gaze. Canyon. The Mundo Grub started by Gen.G. Chovy the first to move from mid. BDD forced back underneath his tower. Cuz trying to make his way in here, but with the concussive blows about to proc, I think he might back away. Puts the Q back into Gen.G. The first grub's gonna go. As Peter begins to step up, BDD still looking for the flank. There's the second grub as they pull in with a hostile takeover, even by the Unbreakable. BDD with a great Petrifying Gaze! Finds 3! Churro chased away here, has to flash. Ruler doing the same. Dogtime still on the chase. Chovy able to pick up BDD on the back line. The wall enough to save Ruler. Gen.G get out with 2 grubs and a 1-for-1.
Yeah, Ruler barely limps out of that one. That was incredibly close to taking him down here. KT will be able to go back and grab 1 grub. BDD walks away with
absolute nightmare as Dragon gets started up. Keen just straight up walked all the way down, but there comes the teleport from Perfect.
Teleport from Perfect. They're looking for the Call of the Forge God here. Cuz going in, maximum dosage juice. Hostile takeover. Lands onto Canyon. Cuz stepping into Duro. Cuz CC flashes away. The smite comes out from Canyon. Gen.G secure it. Call of the Forge God from Perfect as they flash forward. BDD looking for the Petrifying Gaze, but can't quite find it. Keen falling lower. Perfect on the chase. KT find 1. But the Drake's already gone over to Gen.G. KT will look for a little bit more. Noxious Blast from BDD. The Fates call. Calls the Braum.
Confidence that is hard to match as we go into another team fight for Herald.
Gen.G have all 5 players here immediately. TP to the mid lane from Perfect. He's a long way away. The Herald already down to 5,500 HP as Gen.G look for it. BDD on the flank. Duro flash. Winter's Bite into the Glacial Fissure. They dodge the Petrifying Gaze, but Duro's still caught by it. Flash hostile takeover coming out into the Fate's call. The Cuz is able to get the Herald as Keen tries to get onto that back line, but so much work here from KT. They've already found 2 in the fight, and the tides are very much in their favor. They'll chase down Canyon. KT
1 going to get picked up for KT, and that's again a good Camtech angle with Mundo for this world.
Yeah, it is really dangerous anytime you're leaving Yorick alone, especially if he's playing Demolish. The towers just melt completely. You always have that as a backup plan.
In the Gen.G jungle. And because of that, they then back away. BDD will have a little bit of time to push out mid. Keen working his way down from the top side. Arakan begins to reset. Herald down. Can be an escape route or can be Peter. Where are you going with this? He's taking it into the terrain. Cuz caught out as Canyon looks for the flank, the wall down. Cuz trying to get on the right side of it and is able to walk away. The Rift Herald charging in to Gen.G, but isn't going to be able to do too much. Keen still looking for that flank from the top side as Gen.G continue to leash the Atakan.
Yeah, Gen.G trying to force KT's hand. They got some critical cooldowns there. No Mundo ult is massive, and they're getting zoned by the Anivia.
There's a hostile takeover. Duro will be looking for that Unbreakable. Chovy forced away towards the Tribush. 6,000 HP on the Atakan right now. Impale lands. Hostile takeover coming out as well. It's eaten by the Unbreakable. BDD flashing forward with the Miasma. Redemption's coming out as Dogtime dances around the fight. Keen forced to flash away. Perfect able to escape with a sliver of HP, as is Peter. Ruler now on the front line. He stares into the eyes of BDD and he's turned to stone. His tombstone litters the rift as KT win the fight at Otacon.
It's KT winning the fight, getting the Otacon, and they are going for the Dragon here as well. It's going to be KT on soul point, on match point, 8-1, and on the precipice of one of the most...
Perfect blocks a bit of CC, Dark Possession down. KT corralled back into the mid lane. Chovy takes a chunk. Perfect's the one to face check here as Cuz goes in as well. KT need to work as 5 and they do so. They take down the Maiden. Perfect slams his face into the wall and Gen.G back away. Now KT have control. Cuz still has the flash here. With the culling coming down, Cuz able to survive it. The redemption used and the maximum dosage pops on him as well. Gen.G now, without their AD carries ultimate, have to fight around the Chem Soul. KT started up, Dogtang looking to put the spears into the Dragon Face, call out the Impale only lands on the Perfect, and he doesn't really care that he's in the middle of Gen.G. He flashes out, escapes the storm of Chovy, and KT can just back away. They can look for more of a fight if they want.
Yeah, the question is, can Gen.G find something? Because I don't know if they want to play patient from here. They feel the pressure right now.
Where's the TP coming from Perfect? It's a little bit defensive. KT trying to push towards that mid lane, make sure they're not going to lose their tier 2. They just Sacrifice the tier 1, but a Chemsol, the priceless moment of the game here for KT.
And it felt like KT, or Gen.G rather, was trying to play for the fight with the position that Canyon took there. He ulted perfect with the idea of trying to play for that. But instead, they got neither, right? They weren't able to really do anything to perfect, still sitting on perfect KDA. And now it's KT that takes control of this Baron pit, and they might very well try to force Gen.G into a fight.
They're looking for the fight. Hostile takeover going down as Canyon has to flash away. Has a Mega Blast Cone there for him to try and escape, but there's no Fate's Call, there's no hostile takeover, there's no maximum dosage, and there's no Call of the Forge God. Will Gen.G want to take the fight? Azale thinks it's already over, and perhaps it is for KT. Gen.G stepping forward, KT still on that Baron, 5,000 on it as Canyon looks for a flank position. The Baron, the target for KT, they'll smite it, they'll secure it. Dogdam stepping forward, dashing onto Keen, the damage on the Perfect as well, but a petrified engage! Once again from BDD! He sends Gen.G home in body bags! Chovy trying to escape, and he will manage to get to the safety of it.
And there is, I gotta say, there's no way that they don't just end from here.
You have to feel it. Shanghai feels it too. The crowd enraptured by KT. The one last ride on the roller coaster, as perhaps it's a ticket to the finals.
A retread of that story as KT, the gold lead keeps growing, the nerves unwinding, and the roller coaster is about to go higher than it's ever gone.
One last gasp for Gen.G, one last breath.
Just trying to delay as much as he possibly can. They do have such strong wave clear with this Anivia, but Perfect has been pushing mid lane. And the question is, can they clear this wave out as well?
Dark Possession coming down, will catch on to Peter, who falls below half HP. Perfect the same, the Redemption out, Fate's Call. Use Mega Blast Cone onto Perfect.
Gotta try to find something.
They're looking for it, Perfect. There's Canyon comes in, Ishtar's impact for the CC. Perfect's gonna try and walk his way out of this one, but even with a Bellows Breath, even with a double knockup, Perfect cannot survive. His KDA goes from Perfect
turning here in favor of KT.
And if Keen over pushes, you can see BDD and Cuz are moving up. I think Keen is gonna die, and this timing might matter.
BDD going in, Dark Possession being used. BDD needs to order that down, but Cuz has the flank position on towards this Yorick. Keen has no flash, no hope.
They're delaying
no life left, they'll delay it because in 55 seconds, the Elder will spawn. Cuz can chase him down with the Bone Saw, as Keen has no one here to help him. BDD in the end will claim the kill with Twin Fangs and with hope of an Elder. As the Mundo, he's going where he pleases right now. BDD, BDD, BDD! He's looking for the flank, and here comes BDD! Miasma onto Juro, Gen.G forced up towards the top side of the fight. The face call onto Peter, handshake going wide, culling out, hostile takeover used as well. And KT haven't found the engage that they wanted out of this as Gen.G begin to turn it around. A good wall, but Perfect breaks it. Slams his noggin in the gate against it and cracks it in twain. Gen.G still looking for the fight here as BDD once again is on the flank.
Yeah, BDD looking for the flank, but Perfect already got low, and Cuz has no ult now. Chovy just controlling that space beautifully. Gen.G have a chance here. They're trying to buy time for the Orange to TP back.
It's the last stand here from Gen.G, desperately trying not to give it over, but there we go, Orange back. His cooldown still available.
Chovy on the flank, Blast Cone down, Cuz cleansed away with them. Mikhail's Canyon in the pit, Cuz has to flash. As they look for the engage, Canyon going in, Cuz in the middle of the pit as well. The Redemption coming out from Gen.G. Cuz trying to get out of that Dark Possession. The Morning Mist landing on towards the backline. The Elder down to 7,000. Good stun coming out. The Call of the Port got Juro blocks it. Glacial Fisher out as well. The Elder secured as KT. They get it, and Dogdam is flashing forward. Ruler rules no longer. KT clean up the fight, and they'll march down mid.
And KT! I can't believe it! The roller coaster is not done yet! Peter was right! We're going up, up, up!
In the most unbelievable World Semis, no one thought they could do it!
KT, all the years, all the tears, all the fears forgotten. It is one step closer to the promised land, as we see no defense available for Gen.G.